Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 12. I am Raymond Aita. We're coming to you live from Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari insists new cash policy will address insecurity and corruption. FG sets up Council on Socio-Economic Research. Plus, US President Joe Biden declared medically fit ahead of 2024 campaign. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. And thanks for joining us. Our first report this afternoon is that President Muhammadu Buhari has said that the cashless policy and the Naira redesign project of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) have short and long-term benefits for the country in dealing with insecurity and corruption. The president noted that the Apex Bank should take the recommendation of a parliamentary committee to rectify identified challenges associated with the initiative, which had created imbroglio in the past few days. President Buhari's comments came as the CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, gave an assurance that the 200 Naira currency note taken out of circulation would be returned and widely circulated effectively.
The implementation of new monetary policies aimed at boosting our economy and tightening of the loopholes associated with money laundering. Let me reassure Nigerians that strengthening our economy, enhancing security, and blockage of leakages associated with illicit financial flows remain top priority of our administration.
Meanwhile, President Buhari has launched a high-level advisory council on support for women and girls, calling for the upscaling of efforts for more inclusion of women in development policies and projects in Abuja. At the launch of the advisory council, Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment Projects and National Women's Economic Empowerment Policy Dialogue, the president said the three initiatives will target reduction of poverty and building of a sustainable economy. President Buhari noted that coordination had remained a key gap in the effort to improve livelihoods and democratize opportunities for women and girls. The president expressed confidence that the policy dialogue will culminate in the launch of a transformative national policy on women's economic empowerment, which will be held in April 2023. Away from that, the federal government, through the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, has inaugurated the Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research, (NISER). Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Clem Agba, during the inauguration, stressed on the mandate of NISER in driving social and economic research for national development. Agba said according to the Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research Act of 1977, the council shall be responsible for the determination of the overall policy of the institute, particularly in the financial and operational programs, and ensuring the implementation of such policies and programs. He urged the council to strengthen the financial base of the institute by seeking novel alternative and sustainable funding sources, especially as the government struggles with economic downturn as well as a dwindling revenue. In the meantime, the Minister of Environment, Mohammed Hassan, says the government, in partnership with the National Forestry Trust Fund, NFTF, is set to address issues of funding in the forestry sector. He noted that the funding support from international donors, corporate organizations and the private sectors has helped in carrying out some forestry development in the country. The minister, who spoke at the inauguration of the Governing Council of the National Forestry Trust Fund (NFTF) in Abuja, stated that the fund was established to address the critical issue of inadequate funding within the forestry sector through its ability to generate additional funds to supplement government budgetary provisions. In a separate development, the Nigeria Police Force has handed over a total of 6,338 illegal arms and ammunition recovered from criminals and non-state actors across the country to the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, domiciled in the office of the National Security Advisor. Inspector General of Police Usman Baba, represented by the Deputy Inspector General of Police Mohammed Damalam in the force headquarters, Abuja, supervised the handing over of 3,980 arms of different calibers, 2,358 assorted calibers of ammunition, and 1,057 assorted cartridges to the agency. According to the Force Public Relations Officer, Olumiyiwa Adejobi, the arms and ammunition were majorly recovered from armed criminals and other non-state actors in Owerri, Imo State, Jos Plateau State, Sokoto, as well as Bauchi State. In another development, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has announced that it will commence the drilling of crude oil in Nasarawa State from March 21, 2023. Group Chief Executive Officer of the National Oil Company, Mele Kyari, made the announcement when he visited the Governor Abdullahi Sule in Lafia, the state capital. According to Kyari, initial exploratory activities detected that there was a significant amount of oil in the state, noting that the NNPC is ready to do the necessary work to find the hydrocarbon resources. On the Naira crisis, the Jigawa state government has said that the old Naira notes remain legal tender in the state pending the judgment of the Supreme Court. The State Commissioner for Information, Youth, Sport and Culture, Ibrahim Mamsa, in a statement, noted that some individuals and corporate bodies are rejecting the now old 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes, noting that the government is concerned about the conduct of such individuals and corporate bodies. The state government urged residents to report any trader and business organization who refuses to accept the old 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes as legal tender to the nearest appropriate authorities in the state. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Moyosore Onigbanjo, has said that the position of the Supreme Court on the Naira redesign of the Central Bank of Nigeria remains valid. The Attorney General said the rejection of the old notes by some persons and institutions in the country was contrary to the stand of the Apex Court, adding that petrol stations, banks and others who were rejecting the old notes could be prosecuted. Onigbanjo decried the crisis caused by the Naira scarcity and condemned the high charges by point-of-sale operators, which have fostered untold hardship on Nigerians. He also advised Lagosians who have been impacted by the Naira crisis to press charges against any bank who refuses to give out the new Naira on their demand. To Africa now, Tunisian President Kais Saied has rejected foreign interference following criticism over a recent string of arrests targeting his critics. Saied said that Tunisia is an independent and sovereign state and not under colonialism or protection, and its sovereignty is above all other considerations. He added that the country was able to diagnose its problems. Recall that the U.S. had said it was deeply concerned by the reported arrest of politicians, business leaders, and journalists in recent days. But the president said he was acting in full respect of the law. But still in Africa, the foreign ministers of Mali, Guinea and Burkina Faso are in Ethiopia's capital Addis Ababa ahead of an African Union summit to lobby its way back into the organization. All three countries were suspended from the African Union and the regional grouping ECOWAS following military coups. Mali's foreign ministry said the suspensions were hindering the desire of all three Sahel countries to make the transition back to civilian rule. But now on a foreign scene, United States President Joe Biden has been declared fit for duty by his doctor after the final annual medical checkup. The head of state and commander-in-chief, Biden's physician, Kevin O'Connor, said in a letter published by the White House that President Biden remains a healthy, vigorous 80-year-old male who is fully fit to successfully execute the duties of the presidency, to include those of chief executive. He said Biden has not declared a reflection or re-election bid, but is widely expected to do so for re-election in 2024. Still on the foreign scene, Ukrainian regional officials say Russian strikes around the fiercely embattled Ukrainian city of Bakhmut has left 3 men and 2 women dead and 9 civilians wounded. According to a statement published online by the Donetsk Region Prosecutor's Office, the 5 civilians killed varied in ages between 32 and 66. The statement said the shelling also damaged many residential buildings. Meanwhile, Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk appealed to the civilians who remained in Bakhmut to leave the city immediately. Still to come in the news. Australia to spend $4.8 billion on 2032 Olympic venues. Please stay with us. Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. And now in business, the World Bank Group says non-tariff barriers and hurdles affecting cross-border goods crossings must be addressed in order to reap the benefits of the African Continental Free Trade Area AfCFTA. The Washington-based bank in the report noted that the Free Trade Area, which hopes to connect 54 countries with a combined population of 1.3 billion and a GDP of $3.4 trillion, has several challenges to overcome. It noted that African businesses should also see the opportunities, as its research suggests that the agreement has the potential to bring significant economic and social benefit in the form of faster economic growth, higher incomes, and less poverty. Still in business, the Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, has introduced mobile calibration vehicles and measurement equipment in the country in a bid to fight trade barriers. Addressing journalists in Lagos, the Director General of SON, Farouk Salim, said the platform would provide access to new markets and prevent trade barriers. He also said the development would increase productivity, reduce costs, minimize errors, and guarantee consistency and uniformity of products. According to him, the agency would be engaging in public awareness to promote and protect safety, adding that public awareness will also highlight the importance of calibration in improving the quality of life in general. To health matters now, 38 people have been confirmed dead by the Jigawa State Ministry of Health in an outbreak of cerebellum spinal meningitis (CSM) in the state. State Commissioner of Health through the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Dr. Salisu Muazu, said the disease has been recorded in 7 local government areas of the state that share a border with Niger Republic. Muazu, who confirmed the death while fielding questions from newsmen in his office in Dutse, the state's capital, revealed that the type of CSM reported from the affected communities was strange. Dr. Muazu explained that a total of 398 suspected cases have been recorded across some towns and villages in the affected local government areas. In the meantime, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) says products worth over 326 million naira were destroyed at Lafia, Nasarawa State. NAFDAC disclosed this in a post on its official Twitter handle, stressing that cartons of pharmaceuticals, soft drinks and other products were destroyed. Reports say NAFDAC is responsible for regulating and controlling the manufacture, information, or importation, exportation, advertisements, distribution, sale, as well as the use of food, drugs, cosmetics, medical devices, chemicals, as well as packaged water. And now in sports, Australia says it will spend $4.8 billion on venues for the 2032 Brisbane Olympics, including a 17,000-seat arena and a revamp of the Gabba Stadium. The Queensland capital was awarded the 2032 Summer Olympics and Paralympics 2 years ago, returning the Games to Australia for a third time after Melbourne 1956 and then Sydney 2000. Reports say Queensland state government will pump money into redeveloping the Gabba Stadium, expanding its seating capacity by 8,000 to 50,000. But still in sport, Tiger Woods birded his last 3 holes to wrestle a 2-under par 69 from Riviera Country Club and thrilled fans cheering his return to the PGA Tour action at the Genesis Invitational. The 15-time major champion had not teed it up in a tour-level event since the British Open in July last year, as the severe leg injuries he suffered in a February 2021 car accident continued to curtail his schedule. He opened with a birdie at the par 5 first, and after a bogey at the foot, got back on the par with a birdie at the 8, where he landed his second shot from the fairway 3 feet from the pin. A bogeys at the 10th and 12th put him 1 over, but Woods turned things around, rolling in a 5-foot birdie at the 16th and then curling in a 23-footer at the par 5 17th, where his approach had left him off the green. On entertainment, German actor Bruce Willis has a frontotemporal dementia. This was made known by his family in a statement on social media. According to the statement, the 67-year-old was diagnosed with aphasia, which causes difficulties with speech, in spring last year. But this has progressed as he has been given a more specific diagnosis. They expressed their deepest gratitude for the incredible outpouring of love. The family went on to say that frontotemporal dementia is the most common form of dementia in people under 60. The new statement said they hoped media attention would raise awareness of the actor's condition. But still in entertainment, Nigerian singer Rema is starting his 2023 on a very high note as he announces that he will be dropping 2 songs. His first song for the year. Well, the singer was stated this via his official Instagram page, dropping a snippet of the 2 songs, which are titled Holiday and Reason You. He said the song will be coming out at midnight today. Both singles showcase a new, evolved sound for Rema, with an up-tempo Holiday reflecting on his struggles and the sacrifices he has made in his life, from Benin City to his debut EP in 2019, highlighting his self-belief despite doubt, criticism, and rejection. And that's all we have for you at this time. Many thanks indeed for joining us. Don't forget, you can follow us on all of our social media platforms, and do also subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website. Just search spectrumtv.ng. You've been watching the news at 2. Many thanks for joining us. I am Raymond Ita. Enjoy the rest of your day.